Welcome to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skobowski of Remax Lakes, and good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. It's been a cold week.
Been a cold week. A little bit of snow.
A little bit of snow.
Got a new president.
Yeah, we do have a new president, and I know that the snow doesn't bode well for selling homes.
No, it does not. But we
over-
sell them year round.
Yeah, but over the past couple of weeks, I mean, it's been happening.
It is. You know, we did our show on predictions, and boy, they're following through.
Yeah.
It is the market is heating up. It's crazy. You know, it was up till 10 o'clock last night with buyers on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, it is crazy, and that's
a
all
good
tough
thing,
for
though.
this old guy. I go to bed at 9:30. You know.
You know, that's the thing. Okay, so most of the time we go to bed at 11. Okay, and we started going to bed at 10.
Mhm.
And because I'm almost pushing 50,
Yeah.
and I know Roger, just our producer, Roger just had a birthday this
Happy
week as well.
birthday!
Happy birthday!
There you go.
53 years old. So, and but I was just talking to my wife on the phone this morning, saying how much we love to go to bed at 10 o'clock now.
Yeah. I'm usually, my dog is ready for bed
Yeah,
at 10 o'clock.
yeah,
At 10 o'clock, she's doing the, let's go to bed.
yeah.
So
yeah.
I go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. So we talked about last weekend. We did a show on predictions for
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
Let's talk about realities for buyers and sellers in 2021.
Absolutely. So those predictions we made are borne out this week. So at least in the last week, the reality is multiple offer situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, myself, I was involved in two in the last week. Properties hit the market on the market one day, and I've got the buyers, we write the offers, and there's multiple offers.
Yeah.
So that is not only a prediction, that is a reality in the last week, and I anticipate that is going to be the reality through the end of the year.
End of the year.
End of the year.
Okay.
Until we see inventory bump up.
Yeah.
Until we see, and that's where we talked last week about how do you replace that inventory. It's new construction. We're not going to see anything. Even if they started building today, none of those homes are going to be complete until May,
Mm-hmm.
to where there will be any influence on the amount of actual inventory that's out there. With the exception of if people decide to put their homes on the market. When I say new is the only way to get there, no, if people decided to move and they're leaving the area to go somewhere else, because if they're buying here, while they're creating inventory, they're chewing up inventory as well.
Yeah.
So there's no impact on the overall inventory. Maybe by price,
Mm-hmm.
yes, but low inventory is going to be a reality. High demand, definitely. You know, we're seeing it. The activity level for buyers in the last week, in the first couple of weeks of this year,
Yeah.
have been higher than I've seen in January in forever. I've been doing it, 15. This is my 16th year.
Yeah.
It's the busiest January that I have had. Typically, I go on vacation.
Yeah. You do right.
in
Yeah.
January
Yeah.
for that reason, because it's a slower time.
Right.
And this year, that's
Not
not
the case.
in the cards. It's not in the cards.
Yeah, I'm hearing that across the board, that just everybody has been busy.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's been busy, and talked to my mortgage originator as well,
Uh-huh.
just about, hey, is it a good time to refi? Which I just did here not that long ago, just
Yeah.
a few months ago.
Yeah.
But rates have dropped again so much that it's like, hey, should I be thinking about doing this
Right.
again? You know, and we ran the numbers. And so. And if they continue to drop, it will be a good time to do a refi again. So just high demand, and everybody has been busy. Everybody across
Yeah.
the board. So,
Yeah. And what I can say with that is, while we are seeing that high demand, and at the start of the COVID thing, the pandemic, it did slow down, loan processing, new construct, any of those loans that were going through, it was slowed down. But I have to say the financial industry has adapted, and not just the financial. When I say that, the mortgage originators,
Yeah.
the title companies, the appraisers, everybody has adapted to the speed to which these things take place.
Right.
My daughter just did a refi on her house, used a local mortgage company. I'll put a plug in for Ruoff.
Yeah.
They
Yep, good
in
people.
9 days,
Yep.
9 days,
Wow.
they had their approval for a refi. Now, that is not the expectation, and they've got good equity in the house, all those things, it depends that Mark would always add in there. But that's just amazing to me that they can process a loan that quickly, 9 days.
Wow.
And I've seen, on Facebook, some of the mortgage originators, they're even shorter time periods than that. Now, again, that is not people with issues, right? If you've got credit issues, I don't want to set the expectation, every mortgage can close in 9 days, because that is not the case. That was the perfect storm. But, the reality is the mortgage companies, the title companies, the appraisers, everybody within the real estate process has adapted and adjusted, and we're all moving faster than we've ever moved before.
Yeah. I just had this conversation the other day. People are used to working in a pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming up on a year.
Yeah. We're looking at a year, absolutely.
Yeah, so people have adjusted and they're used to this, and so and not just in real estate,
Right.
but across the board.
All businesses have adapted and adjusted.
Yeah,
you got it.
Okay, coming up, we're going to talk about more realities for buyers and sellers in 2021. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skabowski of RE/MAX Lakes, and we're talking about realities for buyers and sellers in 2021.
Yeah, and my constant theme for buyers is be prepared.
Yeah.
As we just talked about, things are coming on, they're happening very quickly. That it's not go look at a house, think about it, get your pre-approval, write an offer. Those things are happening in a time crunch. I mean, this past week, property hit the market. I went to schedule it. It was blacked out. We can see blocks of time that were blacked out. From 9 till 5. There was a window between 11:30 and 12:30 that I grabbed to show the buyer. We wrote an offer within 3 hours of being in the house.
Yeah.
And, hopefully, I believe we'll have it accepted. I mean, this is just recent. I mean, just yesterday.
Yeah.
So it could happen that quickly. I don't have an answer yet, but I think we will. So the time windows have shrunk. So from a buyer's perspective, be prepared. Talk to that lender. Get your pre-approval. Have your pre-approval in hand. And in talking about the pre-approvals, we need to know, as an agent, as a broker, how much you're approved for, and what type of financing you're approved for, and do you need any seller concessions? Okay, many times we get a pre-approval that isn't worth the paper that it's written on.
Okay.
And it's not that it's not valid, but it comes in and it says pre-approval for Mr. and Mrs. Jones,
Okay.
Purchase price TBD, to be determined,
Okay.
address to be determined, conditions to be determined. Now, are you in the business of selling real estate?
No.
But if you were a seller and you got a pre-approval that said that, what would you do?
It's just too vague.
Yeah, to be determined.
Yeah.
Can you afford to buy my house or not?
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know. So buyers, ask for that from your loan originator. If they give you such a generic pre-approval, and I get it, maybe they don't have all the details that they need to get it, pinpointed, but if that's the case, what are you writing an offer for?
Right, but with multiple offers coming in now, sellers, they can pick and choose.
They can pick and choose, and that letter better say that you can at least afford to buy this house, or as a
Right.
seller, when I'm in the business, I'd laugh at that.
Yeah.
I would say absolutely not. Roger's over here giving us the big thumbs down to that pre-approval. Absolutely. You don't even need to be in the industry to know that.
Right.
It's so vague, so generic, it does nothing for us.
Yeah, so, you've always said, go out, get pre-approved so we know what ballpark we're playing in.
Absolutely.
We know if we're in the major leagues or the
Right.
minor leagues.
Right.
You've always said that, but now, more than ever, you got to
Yeah.
be pre-approved.
Absolutely.
And have it detailed.
Have a pre-approval that matches what you're writing. Now the other strategy there, sometimes, if you're pre-approved for $160,000, but you're looking at a house at $150, your lender's going to give you a pre-approval for $150. Well, why not go $160, and then if we get into that situation, we've got flexibility.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to spend it all. You're telling the seller that you can't afford $160 even though you're only buying a $150 house. So again, every agent has a different thought process on that, a different philosophy. That's Mark's. Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, I don't care. It's what's worked for me.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. And for buyers, I always make that recommendation. Why get one that's exactly the offer you're going to write? Now you get a counter offer and $500 more. The seller doesn't know if you're able to do it. I now need to go back to the lender and get an updated pre-approval when I go back, even if I want to accept the counter offer.
Yeah.
So be prepared. Buyers, be prepared. You just need to do that. Don't, change the process. Go looking because they're moving quickly.
Okay.
For sellers, at the same time, you have to price your house competitively. And again, we've talked about that for the years we've been doing this show. Price it right. If you don't price it right, you're not going to sell it. Even though the market is really hot right now, even though there's multiple offers, low inventory, if your house is outdated and it's priced improperly, buyers know it. They're not going to pay a premium price to buy something that they're going to have to go in and put money into.
Mm-hmm.
So you're better off adjusting and pricing more realistically than optimistically.
Okay.
Just because, they'll write an offer. That's not always the case. Buyers will not throw a lowball offer out there. It does happen, but not very often. You'd be surprised. You need to price it right and have it in good condition. If you don't have it in good condition, don't price it as if it's a Cadillac when it's a Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Well, I'm on Realtor.com and I will look at the assessed value of
Yeah.
for like 2019 or 2018,
Yeah.
or what they paid property taxes on that property. And a lot of times it just seems like, here, because it's been such a seller's market, that the price of the house is like almost double, they're just trying to take advantage of the situation.
I think they're taking advantage of the market, and that's a good point. A lot of people do look at the assessed values. Those are a year in arrears, and they use what's called trending. So tax assessors use trending. That is not actual market conditions.
Okay.
So while it can be an indication, I would not let that be my only driver. And lake properties are a big deal with that, because you may look on the assessed value in the tax records and it says it's worth $300, and the house may be selling it listed at $700.
Okay.
It'll be more than double. It's what the market will bear, and the taxes just haven't caught up yet.
Okay.
So the assessed value is a tool, but I would not recommend using that as saying, or what they paid. Well, they only paid $35,000 for it. What are they selling it for $130? Maybe they got a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
When they bought it at $35, they bought it, paid cash for it, and they put money into it.
Mm-hmm.
So the assessed value, kind of steer folks away from looking at that. Use market valuation. That's the way to do it.
Gotcha. All right. So price it right.
Price it right as a seller. Don't try to max. If your intent is to sell, don't try to get more than what it's actually going to be worth in the marketplace. And I know that's always a question. What is it worth? Comps are going to tell you that.
Yeah, I was going to say, talk to your agent,
Right.
because comps are going to help you decide on the value of that property.
Right.
All right. Well, very good. That would be the realities for buyers and sellers in 2021.
2021.
It's been a odd year right out of the gate,
Absolutely.
but it's been a very active year for
Active,
sure.
active.
All right. Hey, your contact information.
Sure. Our website's lakes-realtors.com. Phone number's 574-834-1233. Check us out on YouTube, Real
Yes.
Estate in Real Time. There's a lot of them uploaded, so go to it.
And look for bloopers as well. All right, very good. You've been listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.